let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, Mark Chamberlain.
Well, this lad looks exciting. 21 years old from Portsmouth. As Paul was telling you, he beat Stuart Greener in our first show back in July in just 55 seconds, and he's got 4 wins inside a round. He really doesn't hang about. He and his older brother were taken to the gym when he was just 6 years old. Apparently they were getting bullied at school. I don't think too many people have been bullying him now. He's a real exciting young prospect.
What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn to...
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to a great night of championship boxing for the BT Sports Studio in London. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, and Unibet. We get things started with 8 rounds scheduled in the lightweight division. It is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Board Representative Robert W. Smith, timekeeper Brett Bowles. When the bell rings, our referee in charge and scoring this contest will be Ian John Lewis. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner, he's wearing black with silver and weighed in at 9 stone, 10 pounds. Coming to us from Willenhall, West Midlands, he brings a professional record of 10 wins with just 1 defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean the Scorpion Cooper. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing white with blue and black and weighed in at 9 stone, 12 pounds. Hailing from Portsmouth, Hampshire, he is undefeated with 6 wins. 4 of his 6 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mark Chamberlain.
Keep the punches up, and the shelf break and break clean. Remember, defend yourselves at all times.
Well, it's all gone very much according to plan so far for Mark Chamberlain. This, though, represents something of a step up in level on paper anyway. Sean Cooper, as I say, 10 wins in 11 fights. Challenge to do it at the next level. Frank Hopkins, Mark Chamberlain's manager, has told us. Well, let's see if he can do. He certainly looked good so far, Richie.
Yeah, I like Chamberlain. He's tall, rangy, boxes very well at distance, works well behind his jab. Yeah, I do like the look of Chamberlain and seems to have good defence as well. He's been well schooled, John, so yeah. But he's up against a tough kid from the Midlands here, Sean Cooper. Started off as a southpaw here as Chamberlain, so that'll be a problem that Cooper's got to sort out very early on.
2018 elite champion Mark Chamberlain had 44 wins in 48 amateur bouts. Sean Cooper, incidentally, trained by a former British lightweight champion, Martin Gethin. I was there the night he beat Ben Murphy, and indeed when he lost his decision in that tremendous fight against Derry Matthews. I'll say he's been boxing since he was 6 years old, Mark Chamberlain, and I think the hope is that, well, obviously Sean Cooper's in there hoping that he can really produce an upset here, and he's got decent performances on his record. He's 1 defeat against Jack O'Keefe. He was done with a body shot. That was in a Midlands area title fight last September, but he has got a win on his record against Boyd Jones Jr., and that deserves respect.
Absolutely, John. The problem that Cooper's got here, there's the shot that he's got to throw against Chamberlain. It's the left hook here. He's got to find a way to get past that jab, slip to the left and then try and deliver that left hook. But he's got to get close enough to do that, you see. That's going to be his problem, getting past that long, straight jab of Chamberlain. Like I said, he's well balanced, he's Chamberlain. He boxes well at distance and can box well behind that jab. But somehow Cooper's got to get close enough to land that left hook. There it is there.
There it is, right on cue, landing a solid left hand. Chamberlain taking it okay, but Cooper, well, showing that the tactics there are right. Not a heavy puncher, Sean. He hasn't got any stoppage wins in those 10 victories. So technique is the thing which has served him well. Due to be getting married next month, incidentally, to his fiancée Nicole, and due to become a dad in April.
Well, things are going well for him, and he's just got to sort out Chamberlain here, but this is not going to be easy. Chamberlain, like I say, very well scored boxer indeed. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, John, does Chamberlain. Good boxing skills. Look, lovely stuff there. Switches the attack there from body to head. That was good. That was impressive.
And good sharp punches as well. Last few seconds of the opening round, where Sean Cooper has had his moments, but also glimpses of the real pedigree of Mark Chamberlain as he moves up a little bit of a level. First round complete.
Fillet of fish from a dish. Big Mac down a cul-de-sac. And even under a drying rack. Cheese sides for gaming vibes. Gherkin flirting. Wraps through cat flaps. Nugs on rugs. Or a share box to the river. Because yes, we deliver.
Welcome back to the BT studio here in Stratford in East London. Mark Chamberlain against Sean Cooper. And thoughts on that opening round, Richie?
I thought Chamberlain did enough to win the round, but here we're seeing a nice left up from Cooper. That was his best shot of the round for Sean Cooper. But I thought Chamberlain won the first round, John.
But not by a huge amount. Cooper certainly competitive as we move into the second of 8. Cooper coming in on the back of a victory against Jamie Quinn in February. Chamberlain, as I told you before, was out in July beating Stu Greener.
See, what's important here for Chamberlain, John, is that left hand of his, that straight left hand. It's a great shot, but if he misses the target, then what happens then is he's leaning in too far, and that's when Cooper could probably come back with that left up counter and catch him coming forward. But if Chamberlain hits the target with his left hand, then he's just maintaining that gap, you see. Then it's going to be more difficult for Cooper to land the left hook. But if he can just draw that left hand from Chamberlain, just slip to the side, then he's in with a shout then of landing the left hook, is Cooper.
It was a body shot that did Sean Cooper in his one defeat. Chamberlain and his trainer Wayne Batten, I'm sure, will be well aware of that. They'll have done their homework. It's a nice right hand, solid body shot that was from Chamberlain. Talked about those 4 victories that he's had inside a round early in a fighter's career. No, it's a well observed and repeated maxim, isn't it? You know, Ricky Hatton always used to say that you don't get paid for overtime and it's not a tickling contest and all that sort of stuff. But in the learning curve, really important for young fighters to get competitive rounds.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I mean, it's always good to get the opponent out there as quickly as possible. Quite right, because that boosts confidence, but at the same time then it's got to be a balancing act. If anything, you have to have a few fights where, you know, you're going to be tested over 4, 5, maybe 6 rounds, and that just brings you back down to earth a little bit, John. There's that left hook again from Cooper, but like I say, it just brings you back down to earth, and because it's a tough game. It's not about just knocking guys out in the first couple of rounds. At some stage you're going to hit someone who's not going to go down, he's not going to be knocked out, and that's when you're in a proper contest.
There's a left hand again, and he keeps clipping Chamberlain with that. Not sure how worried Wayne Batten will be by that, but I tell you what, if Cooper was a bigger puncher perhaps than he is, that could have been a bit iffy. He's had 2 or 3, maybe more, that he's landed quite solidly, Cooper, with that left hand.
Yeah, a couple of great left hands from Cooper in this round. Just got the timing right and the accuracy, leading off with the left hook. Yeah, they've been good shots.
Willenhall lad, Sean Cooper. Not too far down the road from Richie, that one.
Not too far, John.
She takes the sidewalk you walk on and turns it into a stage. Just like a catwalk to walk on. These streets are calling her name. Can't fit her into a box.
When there's no need to plug in, why stop? New Toyota Yaris self-charging hybrid.
Welcome back. A little bit of damage to the right eye of Sean Cooper. Martin Gethin having to work away there. He had his moments, Cooper. There was another left hand.
Yeah, a couple of good left hooks from Cooper in this round. I don't know whether he did enough to win the round, John, but there, look, just launching that left hook from quite far out, but it hones in on the target and a couple of good shots.
It's an 8-rounder. This is round 3. And on Rich's card, first 2 rounds going to Mark Chamberlain, but I'd have to say, yeah, maybe, but not by a lot. And Cooper's certainly had his moments in both rounds so far.
Yeah, he probably just needs to do a little bit more work, John. There's not been a lot in the first couple of rounds, especially the first round. That was very close. But so Cooper needs to just throw a few more punches, few more shots.
It's caught off balance there by Chamberlain, squared himself up a little bit. I think he was genuinely hurt by that, although he did stumble back momentarily.
Yeah, but what happened there, John? He launched his attack from a little bit too far out there, you see, and that's probably the problem. He knows he's got to get close to Chamberlain, you see, and that's what he did there. He launched the attack and just got caught coming in.
Chamberlain landed a left hand to the body, which may have been on the border. Perhaps trying to just soften Cooper up with 1 or 2 solid body shots before too long. Switching attack from body to head. Only an inch or so taller, Mark Chamberlain, but when you see them in the ring, he looks decidedly the taller and rangier man, the 21-year-old Portsmouth southpaw.
Yeah, well, he stands very tall, doesn't he, in the ring, does Mark Chamberlain. Doesn't really bend at the knees. Very upright. But like I say, uses his jab well. He's working well in this round. For me, Cooper's got to wait for Chamberlain to lead off and try and make him miss and then come back at him. He's been on the receiving end here in this round.
This has been emphatically the first couple of minutes or so has been going the way of Mark Chamberlain. Using that reach advantage to good effect. Varying his attack from head to body. Is that right hand? That was an example maybe of the sort of counter punch that Richie was saying that Sean should be looking for.
Yeah, it's very much dependent on Chamberlain hitting the target with his left hand. If he misses it, then he's sort of off balance and he's leaning forward, and that's when Cooper can maybe bring him onto either that right hand that we've just seen or the left hook that we've seen earlier on in the contest.
Get the impression Chamberlain's just going to work a little bit here. There was a solid left hand through the guard of Cooper and some more meaty looking shots to the body as well.
Well, in this round, John, as well, Chamberlain has just gone through the gears a little bit more. He started the round well, catching Cooper with a couple of good shots, and he's carried it on, and he's up the tempo here.
See the name on the back of Chamberlain's waistband, Ruby Rose, that's his young daughter.
Every morning at 4:30, you hear the cooks hop on the floor. It's hard times in the mill, my love, hard times in the mill. Every morning at 4:30.
Welcome back. We'll have perhaps a little listen to some of the words which are being said in the corner. Whatever it is, I think it's fair to say that they're going to be fairly well satisfied. slow to get out of the ring in the Cooper corner. Martin Gethin, assisted tonight by John Pegg. Mark Chamberlain just looking as though he was touching the accelerator a bit in the third.
Yeah, he just upped it a little bit, didn't he? I think in the first couple of rounds they were closer rounds, but that third round was a clear one for Chamberlain. Went through the gears, he just raised the tempo slightly there. See, this is good work there. Good straight shots from Chamberlain, and then he switches, goes bent arm to the body there with a few nice little hooks downstairs. Good variation from Chamberlain.
He's having to think about it and having to work, having to try and solve the problems that Cooper's setting.
Yeah, Cooper's got to, I just heard one on the corner say move your head. I presume it was Cooper's corner. He's got to move his head a little bit more here. He's got to try and avoid that. See, that's not a bad shot, just he catches Chamberlain. Chamberlain's doing most of the work, but there was just one little punch there from Cooper. Just a little sign that, you know, he's still in this contest. But again, it's better work from Chamberlain. But Cooper, he's got to move his head, John. Got to try and avoid these shots.
Better work from Chamberlain and more of it. Referee Ian John Lewis is the guy who's scoring this one. As the referee, the man with the trademark statement before every fight he officiates: I am the referee.
Indeed.
The old Dickie bow and the white shirt's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? Oh, good shots. Oh, and that hurt him. Body shots, and he's shaking his head. That's really taken the wind out of him.
Yeah, a couple of good shots downstairs there from Chamberlain. Really went through the gears, a couple of big hooks.
The pain's still going to be there, and he's got 45 seconds to somehow try and survive. And Chamberlain's looking at the body again. Cooper trying to cover up. And he's digging in. More big body shots. One a little bit low, but fair play. He's hanging in there, Sean Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper's just trying to tuck up, isn't he? Took them elbows in, but Chamberlain, he's finding the gaps underneath the elbows. But with Chamberlain doing this, this may leave him open also. Cooper's left hook especially. He's still got to watch it here, Chamberlain.
Well, fair play to Sean Cooper. Pulled himself together after some really hurtful body shots, and he's throwing them right up to the bell, and that's a big round to Mark Chamberlain.
Massive round for Chamberlain there.
Hey, don't shake your head. You've got to pull hard. Now listen to me. The easy thing to do here is hold her by a body shot. I want that. You've got to pull forward.
Here's where he got into trouble. I think it was the left hand which did the damage.
Yeah, little left uppercut underneath, wasn't it? Left uppercut come hook. Underneath, just underneath the elbow, the right elbow of Cooper. And Chamberlain went through the gears. He really went for it here. Cooper's in trouble, but he got through the round.
There was a right hand as well, wasn't it? I think there were 3 really solid body shots he had to take. And fair play, he got himself together.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 5.
Well, I move into the 5th, and that certainly was the most emphatic round that Chamberlain's had so far. And with the knockdown, that goes down, of course, as a 10-8 on the scorecard.
Sensible start to the round here from Chamberlain. He hasn't gone straight to the body, although as I speak, there he goes. But just started there with some nice jabs, nice straight shots, just to get himself back into the round. And not forgetting his boxing.
When there was the shake of the head from Cooper when he did get caught for a moment, I thought the fight there in that 4th round might have been over, but fair play. Cooper did really bite on the gum shield and find a way to survive. But he's got big problems now.
Well, he has got big problems, but he's a tough kid, you see, John. That might just give him confidence. His corner, look, there's that left hook again, you see, and they'll be shouting encouragement. He may take confidence from taking those shots earlier on in the previous round. He's got through it.
Well, left hand certainly made Mark Chamberlain blink, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a good punch. And that's why it's sensible from Chamberlain just to keep the punches straight every so often. Don't just keep going to the body, because by throwing body shots, you're getting closer to your opponent. They're bent arm shots mainly, and that means you're close. And that might just give Cooper the chance to land that hook.
Last thing you want to be, well, you tell me, last thing you want to be is predictable.
Exactly. So the opponent's not ready yet, so you just got to stick to your boxing.
Cooper appears to have recovered okay now. I will say that when you've taken the body shots like that, the pain stays, but he's still in there, and in there pitching.
In these type of contests, John, you've got to be patient. You know, Chamberlain is 6-0, he's a skillful kid, but he's in against a tough customer here. He's hitting him with some really big punches, but Cooper is still there. So it's a patience game now. You've got to just stick to your boxing, keep picking away.
Cooper acquitting himself quite well in this round. He's had his moments. And looking repeatedly for that big left hand. Nice bit of variety there from Chamberlain. Left uppercut through the guard and then the right hook into the body. There's that left hand again.
Yeah, he just tried what we call a counter-attack there, John. He just tried to beat Chamberlain to the punch, so he's waiting for Chamberlain to land the shot, and as he starts the shot, then he tries to beat him to it, but he just missed.
A little bit of a smear of blood again from that right eye. They'll have to work away on that one.
Feel better? Yeah. You see what happens when you grit your teeth and fight? That was your best round, because you gritted your teeth and you started to feel it nice one. You've got to go on your head, you know. You've got to say, I've took your work, let's see if you can take mine. Do you understand that?
Can you say slow down, yeah. He's breathing a bit, haven't you, now?
It's on his shoulders, Sean, you've got to punish.
He's feeling better, now you made him feel nice. I've seen his face, he's changing. Funny face, it's because he's got to struggle and try and work in it. You know, he took his shots.
Well, that means you've got to go through it, Sean, you've got to stand up front foot. You can't just be one pace. You've got to go forward, show me what you've got now, Sean, and you're doing great.
That's brilliant, keep that if you want.
Well, lovely advice which you heard up close and personal from Martin Gethin. Trying to get Cooper to believe, telling him that he's taken the best that Chamberlain has got to throw. Now let's put it on him and see if he can take your best.
Yep, Johnny Pegg as well in there, giving some good instructions, John. And, you know, they've got confidence in that corner. They think that Cooper can land this big shot. But Chamberlain, again, getting to work behind his boxing, which is sensible. It's when he just allows Cooper to close that gap down, because he's standing so upright, and occasionally he drops his lead hand, does Chamberlain, and that's when he can be left open for that left hook.
And it goes the 8 rounds. It's a step up as an 8-rounder here. If it does go the distance, he's a little bit into more uncharted territory, and confidence is going to be an issue, and also stamina against a man who is proven, a strong man in Sean Cooper, a tough guy. That left hand again of Cooper's, forcing Mark Chamberlain to cover up, and a good body shot as well. And you can perhaps hear in the background the encouragement coming from his corner. They're happy. Learning fight for Chamberlain, but only really a learning fight if he comes through it as a winner. A defeat would represent a serious setback.
Cooper seems to have a bit more confidence, doesn't he, in this round? To listen to his corner. It's important for Chamberlain, like I say, keep those punches nice and straight, keep that gap. He's working around, using the ring space. If Cooper can back him into the ropes, then who knows?
Well, that'll be the plan.
See, that's why he needs to move his head, Cooper. This is good work on the outside from Chamberlain. He's just picking his shots. The pace is suiting Chamberlain up to now. Cooper's got to step on the gas a little bit and put more... Cooper's got to put Chamberlain under a little bit more pressure here. But this is a better round for Chamberlain. He's just controlling things at distance. He's controlling the pace, which is important.
Keeping it long with these straight shots. Cooper finding it very tough to get into range. Now, this is where he wants to be. But again, that nagging right-hand lead of Mark Chamberlain's boxed well in this round.
Yeah, lovely boxing, to be quite honest, from Chamberlain. He's managed to keep his distance well here. He's responded with some nice, neat boxing in this round, Chamberlain.
And finishing it as well with a solid right into the body as well. That's an excellent 3 minutes from Mark Chamberlain. That's technically his best round so far.
Lean back on that. Lean back on that, Mark. Listen.
Slow him down. Listen to him. Stop him coming. Right? Keep your elbows up. You listen? It's nice and sharp with a straight. You listen? All right? It's nice and body shots like that straight. Right? Or the hook shot that comes through. Right? Listen to it. Yeah, just
Quietly spoken advice from Wayne Batten. No ranting and raving in the corner, but happy with what his boy was producing.
Yeah, a lovely 1-2 right-up combination there from Chamberlain. Kept his distance, boxed well there. Like I say, we need a tempo change now from Cooper.
Seconds out, round 7.
Well, 2 rounds to go. If you're just joining us, we're here at the BT Sports Studio. A terrific night of boxing for you, and this opening lightweight contest between undefeated Mark Chamberlain and Sean Cooper getting us underway. And on Rich's card, well, there was the knockdown in the 4th round. That'd be a 10-8 in Chamberlain's favour, and Rich has given the others as well to the youngster from Portsmouth, and just 2 rounds remaining.
Having said that, John, it's been a good test for him, hasn't it? Because Cooper, you know, he's tough, and he's had his moments as Cooper. He just hasn't thrown enough punches for me, but he's thrown some dangerous shots, especially that left hook. And like I say, it's been a nice test for Chamberlain, and it's not over yet, of course.
No, he doesn't want to be walking into too many more of those left hands. There's one right on target. That was more of a jab than a hook, though. And we've seen 1 or 2 power shots from Cooper, which have certainly stunned Chamberlain, although they've not had him in any sort of real trouble. Oh, that's good.
The last 2 or 3 rounds, John, you see Chamberlain he's boxed more with safety in mind. He's boxed at distance, and he's kept the contest long, and that's why Cooper's struggled a little bit.
Well, it was the 5th round, wasn't it? After they'd had the knockdown, that was when Cooper really dug in and managed to get himself into range as Chamberlain was targeting the body and landing those hooks, particularly the left hook. And I think that'll have just seen a little bit of a reminder to Chamberlain, maybe.
Yeah, spot on.
Chamberlain being reminded by his corner to aim for the body as well as the head, and responds immediately with 3 or 4 quality body shots. Oh, that's nice work.
Yeah, again, going through the gears, catching Cooper with a couple of good shots, and then stepping up.
That was the mark of a quality fighter, isn't it? The ability to go through, and it's the right hand this time to the body, which has put him down. Again, the shake of the head, and I wonder if that might be it. Well, he's got up bravely. He knows he was caught and caught heavily by that right hand, and now Chamberlain will look to finish it here in this 7th round. And Cooper's somehow got to find a way to tuck up and cover the body, which is surely still going to be hurting. He was really badly winded by that right hand power shot, but it's the closing seconds of the round, and he's going to see it through to the bell, I think. Brave effort from Cooper, and he soldiers on, sees it to the bell, but body shots again for Mark Chamberlain.
Yeah, super punch that was to the body from Chamberlain, little right hook. This fella's as tough as anything, he really is, Sean Cooper. But yeah, one got through there, and it was a cracking punch indeed.
Look up, look up.
Let's have a look at it here as they come together. There it is there, look, just under the elbow. Cooper felt it straight away. And that's the red rag to the bull, isn't it? Because then after that, then Chamberlain just poured on the pressure. It was a convincing round for him.
Sean Cooper finding it is tough, so tough in there. 3 minutes in which to try and survive. Looking at it from Chamberlain's point of view as he gives Wayne Batten a little kiss to thank him for his advice. 3 minutes he has to finish the fight. I've seen too many boxers kiss their trainers before in mid-contest.
Yeah, there you go. But I'd like to see Sean Cooper just get to the end of this contest, because he's done really well himself. To get through, he took some big shots, and I'd like to see him get to the end. I think he's obviously well behind now on points.
Oh yeah, a long way behind, isn't he? But he's
had glimpses, you know, John, the odd left hook here and there. So I'd just like to see him get to the end. But up to now, it's been a good performance from Chamberlain. He's boxed very sensibly. He's turned it on when he's had to, but he's listened to his corner, and he's boxed at range. And he's a thinking boxer, which is good to see.
Cooper's friends and family, of course, in the West Midlands, they'll be watching on, and they'll be proud of the fact that he's given this highly touted young prospect a really good workout, and he'll be hoping, I'm sure, for their sake as well as his own, that he can get through the final 3 minutes. Another solid left hand into the body from Chamberlain. But Cooper still managing to keep going, though he's not throwing too much himself now.
And can he find the strength to deliver another one of those left hooks that we've seen earlier on? It looks highly unlikely, but you never know in this game, John.
Chamberlain almost swinging himself off his feet with that missed right hook. Shown that he's somebody with a lot of talent on which they're going to be able to work in the months and years ahead, though. Former elite amateur champion, a way to go before he's absolutely at the elite level of the professional game, but looking as though he's a minute away from picking up a very decent victory here tonight. Cooper looking as though he's going to see it home and go the distance. As we move into the final 25 seconds or so of the fight.
I think Chamberlain again has boxed some instructions, hasn't he, in this round? He's boxed well at distance. He still recognises the danger from Cooper, and he's just seen it out, hasn't he, really?
Yep, but he's, I think in parts, he's been very impressive indeed, Mark Chamberlain, and that's maintaining his undefeated record. Good sportsmanship between the two lads. That makes it surely subject to confirmation. 7 wins out of 7. Look very classy at times. Good learning fight, as they say.
You hit it on the head there, John. A good learning fight indeed. I thought he boxed very well, did Chamberlain. He demonstrated that he's got you have to think in a contest, you have to change tact. At one stage he went off a little bit too quick and he got a little bit too close and he got caught with a couple of decent left hooks from Sean Cooper, who was always in this contest. Then he changed his game, didn't he? Went back longer, he boxed at distance, he boxed safely, he's listened to his corner. So yeah, it's a decent performance and a decent test for him there.
Well, there were the 2 times that Cooper was sent to the canvas in round 4 and round 7. So hard really to make an argument for Cooper having won a round, although as Richie said, some of them were certainly close, particularly early on.
Yeah, I think a couple of them were close, the first and second round especially. He may have got a share of the first round, but yeah, a couple of those opening rounds were close.
Well, Robert Smith, the secretary of the British Boxing Board of Control, has delivered Ian John Lewis's verdict to our Master of Ceremonies. The 2 fighters about to be drawn together centre ring, and now indeed we can find out what is surely going to be a confirmation of victory from Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Ian John Lewis, scores this contest 80-69 for your winner and still undefeated, Mark Chamberlain.
Sporting clap of the gloves from Sean Cooper and a hug for him from Mark Chamberlain, who produced a fairly impressive win there to move to 7 out of 7.
Thanks very much, John. And I know we're going to talk, David, about Chamberlain. He's a talent, all right, isn't he? But first, Sean Cooper tonight. He really soldiered on so well, didn't he?
He did. He earned every penny of his purse here tonight. He could have went out there with those body shots landing, but he didn't. You know, round 4 and round 6 were horrible rounds. Hard grafting rounds where many people would have gracefully bowed out on one knee, but he didn't. He went out there and wanted to really...
And I think without being able to lip read, you know, I think Chamberlain was saying that to him. Thank you very much for the work tonight.
Exactly what he needed. He really needed that, you know, after such a long sort of layoff for these young fighters to get that regular work, those good competitive rounds. Although he won all of the rounds, as Richie said, a few of the rounds were close. He was getting caught, for my liking, with too many counter left hooks from Cooper. Although Cooper's got a 0% knockout ratio, you don't want to be catching clean shots like that. Not at this stage. You want to be slipping under it, roll under it, or blocking it. He's going to I'd like him to rewatch the fight and watch the tape and really understand.
And if you're sitting and watching it with him, David, what are you saying to him?
Okay, what happened there? His hands are wide open. He's focusing so much on what he's doing because he believes Cooper doesn't have the punch power. And he's correct, he's 100% right. But you need to practice against the likes of Cooper like you were in a British title fight, knowing that any shot that's coming at you like that would put you down. Yeah. If he catches that shot at European level, you're on your back, you're in the seat of your pants.
Would it be fair to say it's simply because he hasn't actually felt that kind of power coming back so far?
Yeah, possibly, but also it's because he's fighting a guy who's had 0 knockouts in a fight he believes he's going to win. He's the favourite to win in this. So he's not under pressure to avoid any punches because even if they land, it doesn't really matter. But what I'd like him to do is watch that, see all the shots he got caught with and try to work with his coaches. OK, if this shot comes again, what am I going to do? You know, to not just do enough that's good enough to beat the guy in front of you, but look into the future. I believe he's got a long way to go in this game. He's got all of the attributes, his posture, his balance, his poise, the shot selection, the body shots. Fantastic. One thing, I'm a stickler for the details, and I didn't like he was getting hit with too many shots, because I know he doesn't need to. He's good enough to avoid them or slip them, so I don't like seeing him taking unnecessary shots.
That's what you're on the show for, David. Great work from you. Thank you very much indeed. Steve Bunce is going to have a word with the winner and the loser. We think that's appropriate after a fight like that. Steve?
It certainly is appropriate, Paul. First of all, I've got to tell you, Mark, that was a flawless 8 rounds. You must be really pleased with yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, and hats off to Sean for sticking in there for 8 hard rounds. Caught him with a few good body shots, and he kept coming. Kept coming.
Did you think it was over the first time he went down? Did you think it was over the second time he went down?
I thought I hurt him the first time, and I thought maybe, maybe not, and he kept coming, and he's a warrior, and he kept coming. He went down again, and he got back out, and he carried on. I can't respect him anymore for that.
Yeah. Now, Sean, you know, sometimes when you get an unbeaten 6-0 prospect. The opponent's a guy, no disrespect, who's lost 37 and won a few. You know, you've only lost the one. You're a good fighter in your own. How good was Mark tonight?
No, he was really good. His boxing ability, you know, he had everything that he threw. You know, I tried everything I could, and he just retaliated back. So I take my hats off to him. But you know, it's boxing. I got in there and I showed the warrior and true fighter I am. And I'll soon be back. I'll get back in the gym, learn my mistakes, and come back again.
But not too soon, because he's getting married in a couple of weeks. When are you getting married?
No, it's not next year. It is so November. But yeah.
It'll be all right
November
by then.
next year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it was November this year.
Oh, no.
I was worried about your facial swelling. Quite seriously, how good were those shots to put you down? How hurt were you?
Yeah, they was very hurtful, and it was very